Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mon Bazou. In case you missed it, in the last episode, we made our first little bit of money. As you can see, we made close to 200, and I think it was like 261 dollars for delivering a load of wood to our brother Francis just around the corner there. We haven't really talked to anybody. We did a quick tour of the town in the last episode, kind of showed you guys around. But today I want to make some progress on our sugar shack. So again, if you didn't watch the last episode, I do encourage you to go back and watch it. Kind of every episode is going to kind of tie together like a story here. So watching all the episodes is going to be kind of key. I'm going to have the playlist included in the description of this video below. But to start, the sugar shack is kind of where we're going to be kind of starting off today. So we got to build the sugar shack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the four-wheeler over. We still have some wood left over to deliver to Francis too, whenever we need to make a little extra money. But we're going to take the four-wheeler over. And if you see over there, kind of like this, there's like a little structure here. We got to cut down some pine trees, which are the brown ones. And we have to stack logs there. So some unknown person, maybe we do it, I don't know, builds us our sugar shack so we can start making some maple syrup. So I'm going to get caught up on my stats real quick here. We're going to drink some maple syrup, which if you've never just chugged maple syrup, you're not living. I think everybody should try it once, unless you're diabetic. I don't recommend it. And then, you know what? I think we're good on poutine for now. We're going to leave that. But anyways, let's take the four-wheeler over to the sugar shack. I'll kind of show you guys what it's like over there, and then we'll get cutting down some trees. We got a few to cut down to put over there. We have a few. Anyways, let's get to it. So this is all our property too, which is great. We kind of started with a nice plot of land. So any square inch of your property, I mean, not square inch, because there is a radius around each tree, but you can plant trees. So once we get our sugar shack built, we're gonna have to plant some more trees, which, you know what, it'd be smart if we planted the maple trees now. That would be smart. I'm gonna go back to the house. I'm gonna get the clippers, and then I'll bring them over here. 1 second. So one thing you might have seen pop up on the screen there just a couple seconds ago was was a French slur. That's us swearing. So what happens is if you get in like a little bit of an accident, or like, I don't know, like a fender bender, or you hit a bump in a weird way where it kind of could affect the car, you'll see a French slur pop up on your screen. But also it affects your anxiety. So if you see in the bottom, that e-brake gets you every time. See in the bottom bar there at the top right is your anxiety. There is one way to help your, it will go down on its own, I do believe, over time. Maybe driving helps too. I can't remember. I thought there was a couple different ways to help your anxiety. But there's one sure way to, yeah, so there it goes. There's one sure way to fix your anxiety, which I will demonstrate in a later episode for those who don't know what that is. But anyways, let's first things first is I want to cut a couple maple trees because they do take a while to grow. That is one thing I will say about the game, is if you do cut a tree for it to grow, it can take some time. It can take some time. So it's probably, and I didn't do this last time because I wasn't thinking, and I didn't know, but it'll probably be best to cut some maple trees now and then plant them, and then we'll go from there. Also, to start out, you start out with a wood-fired maple syrup boiler, I guess it's called. So you will need firewood. So what I recommend, and that's the other, I don't know if there is actually a wood that burns longer. If you know, if you've played the game and you know, like there's a type of wood that burns longer, please message down in the comments for myself and for everybody else. So we can know what wood takes longer to burn and kind of better to plant, because it will be beneficial to plant trees you want to use for your wood burning. But anyways, let's set these down by the bike so we don't lose them. And another great thing about this game is as you like plant or harvest stuff, instead of it dropping a single one here, single one here, single one here, it actually adds them all up and drops them at the last place you cut. So our our shack is going to be here. So I want to, this isn't going to be any sort of like neat and tidy way to do this, but I'm just going to kind of go in a straight line here, and we'll go from there. So you can see the circle that we have to work with. That's the last one. That is the distance you need to be from other trees to plant. So that should be good. I think the first objective on the Sugar Shack is connect to 10 trees. That was 10. We obviously have a bunch of other maple trees around. But anyways, so this is our Sugar Shack. This is where it will be built. Right here. This is also a dumpster here. So I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if this is like things that go through the map due to like glitches or whatever. Maybe these come here, because like not everything you lose ends up in the lost objects dumpster. So I think if it's just like, if it disappears from the map or the game, I think that's where it goes. Otherwise you'll have to go see Gilles, that guy who's sitting on the porch, kind of on the main drag. And you can ask him and he'll find stuff and he'll bring it to his driveway for you. Anyway, so we have to cut down some trees. We have to cut them down, and then we have to split them into logs. So like not like the cut firewood. We don't need the wood splitter, but we need them cut down to logs, and we place them here. And I want to say we need, is it 28 or 27 logs? I can't remember. But one great thing too is sometimes trees take longer to fall. So instead of waiting for it to fall, you can usually just hit it again with the chainsaw pretty quickly before it falls, and then it's all split. So I'm going to cut down a few of these just to kind of get a head start. And then we'll go from there. You just got to make sure it's pine trees. That's the one thing you have to make sure of. Is make sure it's pine, and then you're good to go. Another thing I'll point out too is when you cut a tree, I think it always falls away from you. So if you want to angle it in a way where like maybe you want it to fall closer to wherever you're going, like say you're building the Sugar Shack, or like you have your wood splitter in your truck, just aim it so that it falls away from you towards wherever you're going. Anyways, let's just try this one here. And that should be a good start. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but it'll be close. Okay. There's a handful of trees cut down and split into logs. So let's just, again, like I said in the last episode, which I haven't posted yet. I'm kind of doing 2 in 1 day. Cheating, I know, but I'm trying to get into the habit of recording videos to post. Like I've posted videos on YouTube before, but those are just from my streaming days. Like I streamed on other sites and platforms, which you've probably seen tagged in my descriptions. And then like if there was like an interesting, like if there was a good game I played in Overwatch, I would cut the game out of my VOD and then include it and then post it, just as a way to try and get some long form content. But recently I've been watching some YouTube creators, 2G for example. He's a great creator. He has played Mon Bazou, which is kind of where I found the game is from him. Anyways, he's great. So I kind of wanted to get into some long form gaming content. So yeah, I'm trying to find the secret sauce, the secret recipe, you know, to doing this where I'm not going to get burnt out from it, but also it doesn't impact my full-time job or like my relationship with my wife. I want to make sure I still have time for her. I also play sports, so like my schedule can get pretty hectic. So I wanted to make sure I had I do this in a way that's enjoyable, but it doesn't impact the rest of my life. So I think maybe doing 2 in a day is the way to go, and then just kind of posting a couple times a week. I don't know. If you think it's weird, let me know in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. But anyways, I haven't posted the last episode yet. So what I said in the last one was, I'm gonna skip through some of the monotoning parts of this, like grabbing all the trees or cutting down trees, and then I'll kind of just come back to it at the end, like once we get the last couple. But if you guys do want to see time-lapsed versions of this, let me know in the comments. I am kind of curious as to what you guys prefer. Maybe you guys prefer like an ASMR type of stream where you just kind of see me scoot around and pick up logs, or you know, plant and harvest things later on down the road, which we'll get into, or you know, just let me know what you guys think down in the comment. Maybe you guys like, because sometimes you got to drive a little bit of a distance, and maybe you guys don't want to see me cut, and you want to just see me drive and shut my mouth and just watch the car drive. I don't know. I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think and what you guys prefer, what you guys like from other channels. I'm kind of new to all this, so I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think. Anyways, I'll shut my mouth. I'll keep picking up these logs, and I'll be back once I have them all gathered, and we'll see how many we have left. So I was a little off when I said 27. Yeah, we're going to be a bit. I've just discovered something for the first time, and I absolutely love it. So, I've playing this game, I've had to jump many a times, but I don't know if I just didn't have the sound up loud enough, or... Oh, wrong button, sorry. Or I just wasn't paying attention, because I don't think there's been an update in a while. So, but if you listen, when I jump... There's a little whoosh sound. So funny. So funny. Anyways, back at it. Alrighty, so I've gathered up what we have left. As you can see, I've turned the bike and turned the lights on just to give us a little more light, because it has gotten late and dark on us, and we are still like 12 or 22 logs away. So we still got some work to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to the house. I'm going to sleep. When we wake up, we'll have some more syrup and poutine, and then we'll finish the rest tomorrow afternoon, I think is what we'll do. So I'm going to get back to the house, go to sleep, and I'll be right back here in the morning. Alrighty, it is first thing in the morning. We're gonna slam some maple syrup. We're gonna shove a poutine down the gullet, and we're gonna get going here. As you can see, this game has demons, and we haven't touched this car yet. But if you remember, in our first episode, it was facing out this way. So there's some demons at work here. There really is. Anyways, we'll worry about the Koenig, I think, in the next episode. Maybe that's what we'll work on, is we'll get the Koenig up and running. We'll take it into town on its maiden voyage, because I think we have everything here to get it running. Not great, but it'll run and drive. So we'll worry about that in the next episode. This episode, I want to get the Sugar Shack finished. We are, what did I say, 22 logs away from getting that done. So we're almost there. So we're gonna go back over, we're gonna get that finished off, and we'll get that done. Going a little crazy, don't mind me. Oh, we left our clippers here. Okay, we are back at the Sugar Shack. We need to cut down some more pine trees. I don't think I forgot a log. I think I picked them all up last night. I think. Yeah. Okay. How are our little maple trees doing? 2% growth. So yeah, these take a while. All right, so we got a couple still here around. So we'll get these felled. Look at me go. Oh. We'll fell a couple more pine trees here. I know we got a couple more that are close to the sugar shack, and then hopefully that'll do it. If not, we'll have to lug a little bit, which takes some time because, you know, this is our running speed. We're not the fastest guy in town, but, you know, we'll see where this leaves us. This should put us close, if not done, I think. Anyways, let's get these over. I'm gonna cut to the last couple that are left, and we'll go from there. I'm just realizing our anxiety is so high, and I'm wondering if cutting down trees has something to do with it. You know, maybe in our next episode we'll also take a little drive and we'll open up the next door of revenue, which will also help our anxiety. Again, if you know, you know. Don't spoil it. But I think we'll do that too. That'll be a quick thing we can do, a quick little trip to get that going. But we'll save that for the next episode. Alrighty, last log of the tree that we cut down, and we're gonna need to cut another one. What are we at? We need 4 more logs. That's not even a full tree. Oh well, I'm gonna move these. I know they're not in the way, but just in case. So we need 1 more log or 1 more pine tree, and we're gonna have to go over here for it, which means we're gonna have to lug a little bit, unfortunately. But that's fine. We'll get this one cut, split into logs. I'll take this, put this back on the 4-wheeler, and then I'll be back with the last logs. Ugh, man, I thought we were gonna be close with that last tree. This should be 63. School bus. Alrighty. Last log. We have 2 left, which we'll bring over some point. Because I will eventually end up just bringing the wood splitter over here because we are going to need firewood for our sugar shack to produce maple syrup. But here's the last log. Let's see what happens with the sugar shack. Oh, we're back. Further. Okay, yeah. This game's the dev did such a good job with creating this game, man. The quirks, there's some comedy in it. It's just so funny. All right, let's go check this out, man. Here's our sugar shack. So this is a big tank. So eventually what we're going to do is we're going to connect some taps to some trees, and then we're going to feed it into here. So obviously we don't have any taps. We also don't have our generator running. So now that we have this, once we get some trees tapped, apparently that's a tongue twister, we'll have to keep our generator running a lot longer. So we'll just pop into here. And this is it, man. This is our sugar shack. So it comes with its own radio. No electricity. That makes sense. Anyway, so as I mentioned earlier, you kind of start out with all like the basic minimum stuff you need to get going. So we have our own burner. So what happens is it brings the sap in from the trees, comes into here, and we burn it off. Comes in through here. And then once it gets into here, it's actual maple syrup. Now, the great thing about the sugar shack is you can skim burning sap off the top to quench your thirst. So once this you have sap coming in, and once it starts boiling, you can actually drink from it to help quench your thirst, which I think is so helpful. Um, yeah, man, this is it. It's pretty basic, but again, it does the job, and this is kind of when you start making a little bit of money. So when you start taking syrup to the Federation, that's kind of when it starts happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these in here just for now. We'll get this place a little more decked out. I've learned a couple tricks to kind of help and be a little more self-sufficient, because that's kind of the big thing about this game is like it's so easy. It's so easy to forget about your hunger and your thirst and your energy. Like you just get doing a task, and all of a sudden you hear, ooh, or you hear like your stomach or whatever, right? So, and sometimes by then it can be too late, you know? So I'll show you a couple tricks in future episodes and kind of what I've learned on my first playthrough of this to kind of help with all that. But anyways, I think what we'll do now is we're going to take the truck. Let's take the truck. Maybe what I'll do is I'll throw the rest of that wood in the truck. We'll throw the rest of the wood in the truck. This is empty. Maybe we'll go fill up the gas can, and then we'll stop and we'll grab that thing I was talking about earlier to help with our anxiety as well as our kind of second source of income. So just give me a minute. I'll load up the truck with the wood, and then oh, I didn't want to roll the window down. And then we'll head over to Francis. We'll sell that. Go fill up the gas jug with some gas. Maybe fill up the truck now that we got a little bit of money. And then we'll go from there. Anyways, give me a minute. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. This is the last stick. I kind of want to show you guys what I was talking about locking the parking brake in the last episode. So as you can see, the truck is sliding forward, so you can actually come up to the parking brake and you can lock it. And it does nothing. What happens if I put it in gear? Does that do anything? Okay, that did it. But as you can see, the wood like stuff in the truck shifts around, and you will lose things if you leave it. Like so, like even on the inside of the truck, the gas tank was just moving. You can kind of see it moving. Anyways, so you use at your own risk. It you know, just whatever you think you need it for. Just use at your own risk. Anyways, let's get this to Francis. Francis should be out on his front step, so we can chat with him. You guys can meet Francis for the first time. I'll kind of go over what he gives you as you build a relationship with him, and then we'll head into the gas station. It's a lot easier to back in here when it's daylight. All right, let's get this stuff offloaded. So we just got to back up to the circle. And you can't just keep bringing him wood. Like, he does have to use whatever's on his little wood pile there first. Just want to make sure we got it all. But anyways, it is what it is. So let's go talk to Francis. Francis here, you can find him throughout the day. I think it's like 8 a.m. to, I don't know what time he leaves. We can only find him at certain places. Also, people's heads in this game just follow you around. I wanted to see if his head would keep turning. They'll just follow you around. It's super creepy. Anyways, this is Francis. Can't wait for summer to come. Each weekend, I'll go camping for sure. I bet you will. So what Francis will give you, he will build your garage for you once you get to a level, is it 25, I think? You build a level 5 relationship or 25 relationship with Francis. He will build the garage for you. Maybe that's what we'll do in our next episode. Or no, the next episode we're doing the Koenig. Well, maybe we'll do both because it's going to take a couple days because you can only talk to people once per day. You can gift them a can of maple syrup. So once you get into making maple syrup, you can buy like individual cans you can fill up. So either for your personal consumption, so you can keep like a crate of cans of maple syrup in the truck, or you can actually gift them to gain 1 extra friendship point, I guess, per day, so you can get up to 2. So there's 2 different ways you can build friendship status with people. But we'll get into town here. We'll fill up the gas jug. We'll fill up the truck. And then we got to make a stop over at those windmills there. I don't know if you can kind of see over there. There's a door. There's some things in the windmills at the top that we can use. So bear with me here. We'll get into the gas station and then we'll head over there. We're all gassed up, good to go. You know what we do need to... Maybe this would be a good time to go to the Federation. What's the gas? Is this 62 cents a liter? No. Wrong. Where's your sign at, boys? Huh? Right here. 88 cents a liter. I frigging wish, man. I wish. 88 cents a liter. Your bell doesn't work. Alright. Let's go in and talk to the boys. You wouldn't happen to have a little cheer up thing on you, would you, for an old timer by chance? I think I know what he means, and I think you're going to find out here soon. But no, not yet. Another way to make a little bit of money.
Ah ben, content de te voir. Hey, dis-moi donc, qu'est-ce que fait?
I'm glad to see you. Say, why don't you put regular gas in your pile? Because you won't sell it to me, buddy. I think maybe while I'm here, I'm going to buy a maple syrup.
Ah ben, t'es bien fin.
Just to have. Just so that's taken care of. Again, I don't think I really need anything here right now. Ooh, I will need one of these, actually. I will need one of these. Yep. That's gotta happen. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Pretty much. Alright, let's go down to the Maple Federation. We'll stop in there for the first time. Like, actually go in. We'll say hi to the fella down there. And we gotta buy a couple things. Alrighty, let's go in here and say hi. What's up to... Get off me. What's up to our guy in here? I do believe his name is Eric. Ah, Eric. You have any questions about our products? No, not yet. So we are starting fresh with Eric. I think he gives us access to drop off maple syrup at any time of day. So like over here, you got to do it within business hours to start out, which is from 8 to 4. So you drop off barrels there, which you can buy right here. They're $200 a pop. They're a little pricey, but there is one good thing, which I'll show you in a later episode when we finally drop off our first bit of maple syrup. But anyways, let's grab this. I'm gonna grab 2 of each just to have. And I'm also gonna buy one of these guys, Tubing Junction. And I think that's it for now. Here, I'll kind of show you. So this is the cans I was telling you about. You gotta buy the canner, and then you can buy crates, and then whole thing. But anyways, you fill those up, and again, you can give them out to people to help build a relationship. So say if I wanted to build like double the time, no, half the time, words. I want to take half the time to build that relationship with Eric. I can talk to him every day and give him a can of maple syrup every day. So where we're going, the road is a little rough. Not like rough, like it's not bad, but like it's bumpy enough that we would probably lose these smaller things out of the truck. And I'm also not certain that we'll be able to keep this in the back of the truck, but obviously it's a little too big. So let's go to those windmills. I'll show you what we're after, and then we'll head back home. Okay, so instead of turning right to go back to our house here, we're gonna take a little bit of we're gonna take a left. Not a little bit of a left. We are gonna take a left, and we're gonna kind of turn around here, and we're gonna take a dirt road right here. So this road here takes you to a couple different places. It takes you to these windmills, which we're going to. I can never remember which side the road goes on for that. It'll also take you to the junkyard, which I mentioned in the previous episode. If you haven't seen it, we did a quick tour of the town. I kind of prefaced on a few different things. So I highly recommend going back and checking that out. But it also leads you to a cottage you can buy, which I'm going to kind of hold off on buying. Just because, like, I never really had a use for it after I got the things that were inside of the cottage. You know, so, like, it's great to get those things, but, like, also they're not super important. But, you know, we'll do it at some point. And also, we have nowhere near enough money. Anyways, windmill number 1. So we just gotta climb up to the top here. That's gonna take a minute. Alrighty, windmill number 1. So at the top of every windmill, there's going to be a tech personal belongings. So we're stealing from somebody. Classy. And this has an adjustable wrench in it. So there's an adjustable wrench. I think one of them has nothing in it. So we'll just drop that down. One of them has nothing in it. And then another one has something else. Suspense, I know. I don't think we take fall damage. Only one way to find out. Nope. Okay. Instead of having to climb all the way down. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave... It's going to be the easiest way to do this. I think I'm going to take this one down to the truck. And then we'll park in the middle of the next two because I think there's a road that connects them. And then we'll go from there. Now, is this going to stay put? Negative. We got to be hurt. We got to quick. What? We have to hurry or we have to be quick. Wow. So, excuse me. So, I mentioned also in the first episode, we live off of a generator for the first little bit, and then you can get connected to power or hydro, they call it. So there's a phone number on the door of all 3 windmills. There's a phone in your home, which you actually call your mom, and that's how you build your relationship with your mom. And then she will gift you something, which you can use later on down the road to be a little more self-sustainable. But that's basically what you do is you call that number on the phone in your home. So that's the only thing is it is difficult to remember the phone numbers for all these places. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a spreadsheet or something, just because I'm very used to using spreadsheets, and then just to store all of the phone numbers. All right, what's in this one? Ah, there it is. So this we're gonna call catnip seeds. This is your other source of income. You 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 oh god, what have I done? What have I done? You essentially grow catnip. There we go. Okay. Minor heart attack. I thought it was just gonna float there forever. So the other windmill I don't think has anything in it. Anyways, here's that phone. I am gonna do that. Bear with me 1 second. I gotta open up that spreadsheet. All right. So this is electric, or we'll go power company. Phone number is 555 4743. Okay. So obviously we are nowhere near. There we go. We are nowhere near the amount of money we need. Oh god. That we need for power, but when we are at that point, oh god, we will we'll make that phone call. I got it on standby. I also have another one that I grabbed from my previous playthrough. I came up with the idea later on to create like a spreadsheet for phone numbers. Anyways, that is, I think, where we are gonna have to call things quits for today. But thank you guys so much for watching my videos and hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate it. Again, if you could, or if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.